Casey is the two words that we're here to talk about today. We are a few days removed from the pretty disappointing defeat at home. Never expected it in a million years. But we're still top of the league, so, you know, every cloud has a silver lining, so to speak. But we can't talk about that big man, Dan Casey, and the tackle that was on Ross McCausland now, as I talked about in the previous bunch of vids. Started watching the highlights and I'd go for it a few times before I made the final conclusion, because I didn't really get to see it in real time. But what I'm saying is, I don't think it's a red. I think the game's gone if they're reds. Now I know that's going to disagree with probably a lot of people on this channel, and even if I said it was a red, I don't want to take that away from Motherwell's perspective, because they played well. Obviously if they go down to 10 men, it changes the game. You can't really deny that, but at the same time, Motherwell were worth their 3 points. Absolutely were worth their 3 points. Us on the other hand, we were worth nothing in that game. Just missed chances and just a real lack of not even fight. I don't know. It was one of those games where I think the team just expected if they turned up they'd win. And I think a lot of us as fans think that. We think, we're at home, we'll win 3 or 4-0. I mean, that's exactly what I predicted. It's just one of those games where we just didn't win. Just did not win. And didn't turn up to win the game. And Motherwell just wanted it a wee bit more than this. We did have our chances, but I think the worst one for me is that, I think it was the Goldson lobbed ball into the box, and it falls to Silva like 6 yards out, man. And it's an absolute... He just scuffs it, and it just rolls in to Liam Kelly's hands. Absolute shocking shot for him. But back to Dan Casey, Dan, the Don, whatever. The tackle. So, right, he wins the ball about 4 yards away from McCausland. Obviously the momentum is taking him into McCausland, and he catches him a wee bit. It's not like a full impact, it's like he skims him, right? And you know what you've got to do in these situations, you've got to take the bias out, right? And you've got to look at it. What if one of our players did that? What if one of our players did that, the exact same tackle that he did? Would we be like, oh, that'd be fair enough, he gets sent off? No, I mean, never in a million years should that be a red. But he got booked for it, didn't he? I think that's as far as it came. McCausland, right? The only thing that makes it worse is the fact he's been doing injured. Right? That's just going to make things look 100 times worse. If McCausland got up, right, straight away, and nothing was wrong with him, we wouldn't be sitting here. It's the fact he's get injured for it. You know, players get injured for all sorts in games. And Dujon Sterling, I don't think he should have been sent off against Aberdeen, but he was. And maybe some people are like, oh well, how can they send him off? But no, which one was worse? I mean, at least the Dujon Sterling, he doesn't win the ball, doesn't he? He catches him late. I'm of a point of football where I think if you honestly win the ball, that should be fair enough. Now I get it, if you two-foot somebody and break both the legs, it's not exactly going to be accepted by the referee and nothing's going to be given, but I honestly think if you give this as a red card, man, the game is gone. We've lost so many things in the beautiful game. You look at football in the past, and I get it, why should Rangers tackles not be refereed to the same standard of other people's tackles? Because I think this could be given as a red. In the modern day football, I've seen, you've seen worse reds. You've seen way worse reds, man, this season. But for me, I don't. Just because you've seen way worse reds doesn't automatically mean they were right and that we were wrong. For me, man, honestly, I think this ain't a red. I know, I think the vast majority of fans, right, are going to think this is a red, but you've got to look at it. If one of our players did this tackle, you would not be wanting a red. I'm sorry, you wouldn't be. It's unfortunate because Causland get injured, right? By no means am I bashing the kid. I think he did kind of pull out of it a bit, and maybe that's had a bit of impact of what's happened, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's a red, folks. I don't. I'm not, I mean, we can all be biased sometimes, but I'm not going to keep the blue tinted specs on and pretend that I think this is a red just for the sake of it, even though I think the vast majority will think it's a red. I don't think it is. I don't. And I don't think there's, well, I was going to mention an appeal. What can Rangers appeal? There's nothing to appeal. Obviously though, if we get a red, changes the game, probably win it. But, I'm not saying probably win, I think we would have won it despite how shite we were. I think going up against 10 men would have been able to unlock them. I don't think they would have got the goal, the second goal, at least. But that's what football's all about, guys. It's fine margins and decisions like this, which I think was the correct one. But it's a shame. Obviously, it looks like Cortez went out at the end of the season. Shite. McCausland, this didn't look particularly great. And we are just weak at this point, and it's looking like a situation now where we're going to have to play Fabio Silva on the wings, which means we're going to have to start Dessers up front, which means instead of this rotation malarkey that we've started, we're not going to be able to do that. Because you guessed it, because they'll both be starting. I mean, I guess there is other options like, but not too sure what Phil's going to do. But we'll be back later on the channel, and I will be talking about Gio Van Bronckhorst. He was talking about Michael Beale, and I thought it was worth a video, so I'll make that later. But what do you guys think? I don't think this was a red. I'm not saying, right, if you win the ball like 3 yards away from your opponent, it automatically doesn't mean, right, it's a red. Because you could still win the ball 3 yards away and then do a 2-footed stamp. Because of course that would be a red. But for me, not a red. Leave it in the comments down below.